All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Dash stream. Ryan will be joining me fairly soon. And yeah, we're going to be working through more of the tutorial. Some of the stuff that was kind of broken was in the data contract things. I fixed one of them while just waiting for Ryan, though. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get some code set up here. Let me just double check. Ain't got any windows open. That's all good. Close that. Okay. I'm going to shoot Ryan a message too. Okay, I'm live. Woo. All right, sweet. So let's move this here and close that out. And actually I should leave this open, at least in the corner, so I can see if Ryan joins. Okay. Something like that. Okay, so the last part we were at was registering the data contract. Yeah, I'm just gonna close this actually. And we get the tutorial. Actually, I should push these changes first. So let's see. Actually, I should look at what changed so I can figure out what was broken. It looks like there was no position in the properties of the contract. So let's take a second and look at the docs for this. This is something that I know I don't understand super well yet, because most of the time I spent working on this over the summer, it was all around the wallet, the identity, the names, and that part of the service. So if we look at the platform itself, it's made up of a couple different things. And so what we were doing was the name service. DPNS was a big part of it. That's based around identities. But now we're going to the data contracts part. So this is the storage. So Ryan always talks about SPA, storage, payments, and authentication. So the name service, you can think of as kind of like the both, I guess, the identity, and then once it's linked to your funds, it'll be a component of the payments. But in terms of like what is the application, where does the data live, and all those kind of things, this is where our storage is. Now, one of the things we've talked about along this way, we had an interview with someone who used to work at IPFS, and Walker Ford was his name, pretty sure. And we had a great discussion about IPFS and what decentralized solutions are. This is the one. What is a DApp? Cool. I'm gonna save a link to this over here. So yeah, check this out if you missed it. We had a great conversation around, when is it a good idea to bring in something like IPFS, and how does it relate to things like gateways and all of that nature. But with the data contract, this is something that is actually on the blockchain. This is not a separate decentralized distributed file storage thing like IPFS. And it's more, I guess here it says it's GroveDB. I don't know anything about GroveDB. I'm assuming it was built for use within Dash platform. Is it relational? Hierarchical authenticated data structure with efficient secondary index queries. I mean, I'm assuming that means it has to be relational if my database ignorance is not too high. Okay, so that's interesting. So that means then the data is not represented in just JSON blobs, which is what we had talked about in the past. So that's an important lesson right there. Let me go to the reference, and let's kind of take a look at this. Okay, so the contracts are described using JSON schema. So it's both JSON schema, but stored in a relational database at the end of the day, or a relational structure of some sorts. That's what that sounds like. Variety of constraints currently defined for performance and security reasons. Interesting. Something I want to try, actually, just because I'm kind of waiting for Rion, is I've been curious to try. Just I've noticed recently, so I use LLMs a lot to code, ChatGPT and Claude and stuff of that nature, and they have gotten much larger context windows recently, which basically means that now you could feed them a lot of code or a lot of docs and kind of preload it, as you can kind of think of it like a really easy way to fine tune a system. There used to be all these different hacks around how you'd fine tune things so you can get to understand a code base that wasn't in the original training that the foundation models went through. So as the context windows have gotten larger, you can basically give them tons of code and docs and stuff and be like, hey, write me some examples of how to do this or that or whatever. And so I'm kind of curious, I just threw this entire data contracts thing, what would happen? So I just wanted to take that off so I could move my history away. But so basically what I would do is I would go, you want to just feed it the actual markdown. Show source. This is a great button. Whoever put this button here, good job. I always have to click edit on GitHub and then bump one backwards and then go forwards. And that's how I would get to and then hit raw. Single click. Look at that. Whoever put this here is a genius. Okay, so let's do this. And then you want to give it some context. These are, actually, this is a reference for working with data contracts on Dash platform. And then write a brief 1-paragraph description of what a data contract is and what it is for on Dash. Then write code examples for, and let's see, I'm just kind of curious what it would do if we just asked it to do literally these things. Let's try both of those. Tasks. Okay. Just write examples. Okay, that should be interesting. Okay. The data contract on the Dash platform serves as a blueprint for the structure of data that an application intends to store on the decentralized network. That makes sense. It defines the schema of documents, which are called data records, using JSON schema, enabling the platform to validate data against these schemas to ensure consistency and integrity. They're crucial for dApps built on Dash. They give you a structured, predictable way to interact with the blockchain, facilitating data storage, retrieval, and manipulation in a trustless environment. Okay, so it does make sense and kind of think of it like a database, because you still wouldn't store, an image in a database, unless you're kind of silly. But this is registering. And actually, I'm going to say, make sure to use ESM in all code examples and do include semicolons, obviously. I wonder when Ryan's going to get on. Okay. So it punted on the third one. That's funny. I guess let's go back to register. To register a new data contract, you construct a contract object following the schema constraints and submit the object within a data contract create state transition. Interesting. So state transition also has a protocol reference over here. Means for submitting data that creates, updates, or deletes platform data results in a change to a new state. That makes plenty of sense. So it's like when you Right, like, so I'm gonna go when I've worked with stuff like this before, it was usually with Ethereum. So I know with Ethereum, I would create examples where you would upload a smart contract, and that smart contract would have a little bit of code in it that would be like a hello world example where you could write a little message and then display it, and then you could read it back for the blockchain, and then you could update it, and then you could read it back, or but you can't delete it, can't delete anything on the blockchain. That's what I always say. So this is taking that part of it and kind of making the update one in particular explicit, is what this sounds like. So let's see. And then you're gonna obviously, so this is why this is smart to make this its own kind of thing that's separate, because reading is free, but updating is not, or writing is not either. So if you have a very when you're working with blockchain, you want it to be very read heavy because you can read from the blockchain as much as you want over and over and over again. But if you want to write to it, then that's where you got to pay, because it's a limited amount of block space with a limited amount of time, and a lot of people using it because it's going to the moon right now. I think Bitcoin's like 70K or something. So hopefully all that trickles down to some sweet dash moonage. Okay. I think I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'm gonna go back to the Jivity. Okay, so let me see I'm just gonna grab some of these. I'm not gonna just publish these. This is kind of just how I give myself stuff to work with as material as I write tutorials now. It's pretty great, actually. Let's see. So I was on, yeah, so I want to say what a day contract is. There you go. Maybe make this bigger, actually. Just clean this up a bit. So one thing, unless you explicitly say, be more concise, it's a little wordy. Structure improvement or the dash blockchain. Contracts, fraud, structure improvement for the dash blockchain. And are crucial for decentralized applications. Data contracts facilitate data storage, retrieval, manipulation, and trustless environment. That's good. That's clean. I like that a lot, actually. That's very, very clean definition right there. It defines the schema of documents with schema. Actually, the structured data application system on a decentralized network. Defines the schema. I'm just gonna start saying contracts, so I don't have to keep saying data contracts over and over again. Contracts enable platform to validate data against these schemas to ensure consistency and integrity. They provide a structured and predictable way to interact with Dash blockchain. Are crucial for. Have we used dApps yet? Yes, we do use dApps way back there. Great. I don't need to define it. Okay. There we go. That's pretty good. Oh, there we go. Right, so it'll be on about 5 minutes. That's good so far. Let me go back to my code that was already broken. I think I was able to register the contract. It was this thing right here. Yeah, baby. Cool. Copy paste all this into the docs. Oops. Yeah. Great. Yeah, and he told me testnet is back up today, so maybe that means this was broken and now it is healed. Who knows? Who knows? Another thing I like to do is explain this output after running register data contract, I think it was. Just register contract. Yeah. For that, it's gonna be this, I think. I kind of like this example. This example looks a lot cleaner. Okay. Let me see if this actually works though first before I do anything ridiculous. Okay. Let's see, did I already? Hold on, hold the phone. Yeah, that's definitely, this is slightly different. So let's see what happens. It's gonna be interesting. Let's do that. Then identity ID. Go here. Let's see if that works now. Oops. Interesting. You gotta do this, I guess. You gotta do it. Hold on. Interesting. Okay, maybe this did not work as well as I thought it would have. Okay, let's just jump off that for now. Interesting experiment. That's gonna go back to working. Yeah, let's stick with that. Let's see. Oh yes, I've been going ahead. Don't worry. Okay, so interesting. Let me see if this is even like in those docs at all. Okay. Why would you do that? It just doesn't. Oh, so I guess it didn't have any of the client stuff in the actual. Let's just try it. Let me just try this. Just grab this part of the code, leave out the platform stuff. Let's see if that works. No. Wait, no, I had to get rid of that part too. Yes, that's the other part. And there's no client at all. So it needs at least this, I guess. The identity part comes down there. Okay. Create data contract. Yes, contract.create. Huh. Okay. Maybe there's just not enough examples in here for it to understand what's happening based on. Yeah, except the functions of stuff we're doing might just be in the tutorial, not necessarily here. Okay. Yeah, this is where. Oh wait, I think Ryan, hold on, is almost here. Can I add you to the stage, or I mean, he'll probably add himself. Oh, and he hopped off. Okay, so we were able to register a data contract. Let me just kind of reset from where I just was. Okay, that's working again. Oops. Share screen, share screen. Okay, we're back, and I'll trust Ryan will join when he is ready. Okay. So definitely make sure to push those changes. Don't want to lose this. Last thing, make sure this works. Okay, great. Okay. And then make sure the tutorial has the most up-to-date code. That's important. So let's grab this and that. And then go to here. Leave. Great. And then let's see if we can retrieve this guy. See what happens. Like I hear sound.
Howdy.
Hey, what's up? Let me just
run
this real quick.
Yeah, what
Sorry,
are you up to?
Oh, coding. I'm gonna just real quick see if this thing works, and then we can chat. I don't even think I have a one yet. Retrieve contract. Yeah, so I got some of my bugs actually fixed already, which is cool.
Good.
So npm run retrieve contract, and then let's get the identity ID in there.
I'm trying to figure out how to get the resolution on my end to be a little higher.
Oh, actually, and I'm glad you said that. We are on the version right now where we only get 720 instead of 1080, I think. We should definitely bump that up to 1080 just because, like, for coding examples and stuff, it makes a pretty big difference.
Yeah, and on the other hand, sometimes it's better to have larger text instead and not rely on high pixel count. But
well, I'm not saying you need to rely on you can. It's not an either or. Like you want both, ideally, because then someone might even be on their phone,
Yeah, for sure.
Not super tight.
I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, it doesn't look great on my screen, and it doesn't even look like 720 to me, but maybe it is. Anyway, what did I miss? Sorry, I was later than we had planned.
No, all good. I'm just gonna need this. So I'm working through the data contract stuff. I got all these tabs open, and now I'm confused.
So my first question is: have you seen the new documentation page? I don't know if it's published yet, and if it is, it might be under something that's not the main site. I'm going to look it up right now.
Could you grab the link and just send it to me?
I'll send it to you. I just know that there were some changes made on GitHub issues. I don't know if they're merged in and deployed to the dash.org yet, but I'll check.
Yeah. I'm totally confused right now. I need to close some of these tabs. What are you remembering about?
Oh, yeah, I don't think the changes are up on the website yet. Basically, the documentation lead over at Dash Core Group has made some changes to separate out the creation of the client, along with more of the documenting more of the options that the client accepts. But I don't think that those changes have made it to dash.org yet. So I was looking in GitHub to see if I could see a preview of what it looks like, so that we could test whether or not those changes actually work. So, but while I'm doing that, can you give me a little update on bugs that have you started over again? Because we do have a new testnet now. Testnet has been updated to, I believe, dash platform 1.0.0 dev 10, where it was
my
dev
dependencies
9
then.
before. So let's update dependencies.
Yeah, it's 10 now.
It's 10 now.
Oh yeah.
But instead of writing 10,
I wasn't going to. I was about to go and find because there's a specific way you set latest that
yeah.
I need to go to.
So that will take care of that. Will give us the latest dash SDK, and then in addition to that, all the nodes on testnet should be running that new version as well. And on top of the new platform versions, I believe, but I'm not sure, that the testnet nodes are probably also running core version. There was an update on core as well for a little small bug fix as well. It shouldn't affect our work, but there were two releases, dash platform and dash core, both got an update. And I think that testnet has nodes that are running those updates. So I'm hoping that we either see.
Well, I got the same error I got. As far as I can tell, this is exactly how it's written in the docs. So I think I do have something. So this is during the retrieve a data contract part. Maybe that. Let me just make sure I'm actually getting the right ID and I understand what's happening here. So this is the ID. So that's me. That's a user error. So let me make sure that's correct first and see what happens. All right, there we go. Cool. So that is the step in my tutorial where I need to give you that specific environment variable back, because that's what I've been doing throughout this. So someone can just copy paste that. Because when I looked at it, there's two IDs. There's an ID here and an ID here. So that could be kind of confusing if you're like blowing through the tutorial and not reading what the heck anything is, like someone like me would do.
Yeah. So let's back up just a little bit and give a brief introduction, if you haven't already, to what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do here is basically I am taking, at this point, essentially the whole of the Dash docs and kind of creating a single end-to-end tutorial so that you would go through all the kind of important parts of creating the wallet, getting your identity and name registered, and then working with your data contract stuff. And I gotten everything up to the data contract stuff working back in last summer. And so now we're kind of working through the storage part. And this is something that, now I'm kind of learning what even is a data contract. So I didn't really figure that out last time and work with it too much. And there was one thing that came up actually that I wanted to ask you about, but is there anything more general, high level you wanted to hit on first?
Well, just the screen that you're looking at right here. So did you, you mentioned in your little intro there that last summer you were able to get through this to this step, but now that there's updates, were you able to connect to the network, create and fund a wallet, and go through the identity and names all of those up.
Let's do that. Let's do that right now. Let's
Yeah.
see what happens. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work, but we'll see. So let me go back to here, and I'll wipe out my .env and save that. Let me first actually get this over here. Okay. I have my whole screen set up before. It's already totally wrecked. So
Okay,
I just
so
want to do
on
the
the right, you have a markdown tutorial document where you're putting it all in one page, and on the left you have actual the actual files that you're running, and in the bottom you have a terminal session, and you just ran a command npm run create wallet.
So this should be what I want actually. So this, and then this is going to work this time. Yep. So
And
this is
create,
so that's
create wallet is that an alias? If you scroll back up to create wallet, is that an alias, an npm script that aliases to client.js?
So let me explain. All of the scripts work exactly the same way, which is that they're all in a directory called scripts, and then they have a name, and then I aliased basically just running node to run that script to the exact same name. So you could do npm run the name or node scripts the name. Both will work.
Yep. So the create wallet one that you just ran is going node scripts / create wallet.
Yep, which
Can
is
we open
this
that file up?
file right here. Yep.
Okay. So in the terminal block down below, presumably that ran this code, which is creating, it's getting the client from client.js, which you had open a little bit ago, and then trying to create the wallet from that instantiated. The reason I'm going through the in deeper detail what you've done is because I have this weird hunch that creating a client and importing it from module to module may have some issue that I want to get down to the bottom of, at least rule it out.
What issue are you referring to?
Well, expand your terminal again. And did you run into an error just now that you, as you ran that?
No, the thing before was, no, there was the error before because I had the wrong code in there. The command worked just as expected.
Okay, the command.
Yeah, everything works as expected. Nothing's broken right now. There's no broken code.
Okay, good. So far, so good.
Yeah.
So create wallet you just did, and it gives you back the wallet and the mnemonic. It gives you back a wallet address and a mnemonic. Got it.
And then you copy paste that and put it into your .env for the next couple steps.
Okay. And you did that. You're doing that now.
Yeah.
Did it give you a different when you create the wallet, it's going to create a random wallet. So you're updating your environment variables now with the latest greatest that we've just ran right now.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing else in there except network set to testnet. That's the only environment variable you start set, and then you build them up piece by piece as you go through the scripts.
Okay. So now let's do the next step.
And then I'll also keep these updated with the actual tutorial as well. Just keep sanity in check.
Yes.
So actually, we gotta give it some testnet funds. That's the step here. Always a fun step. It's my favorite part. Do it every time. And then you wait for the site to crash. That's how you know it worked.
Yeah.
Do you know why that happens, or who we could talk to about fixing that, or if I could find another way to host this so that doesn't happen?
I don't know right offhand. All I know is that this is like this faucet is a fork of a fork of a fork, or it's from way early back when.
Well, then can I just fork the current one and then deploy a brand new one? That's just
you could, but I don't know if it's
.dash.org.
the deployed version that's the problem, or if it's the actual source code that's just buggy.
But even if it is, the front end can handle that. If it's breaking for
Sure.
some reason, or the front end, this should never ever ever happen on a web page.
No, I get it. I think that you'll find though that it's not the most easy to use front end, and
Well, then I'll rewrite the front end. I'm saying,
yeah,
like
and I
it's
think
just HTML and CSS. Like, can't be that hard.
I think it's I think it's some different language. I don't think it's JavaScript. I think there's a back end that's
But
some.
I'm saying, but regardless of what the back end is throwing, it does not, the front end shouldn't need to crash. This front end shouldn't be coupled to something that's breaking on the back end. Like, it just doesn't make any. I don't know. Like, I understand how it's broken in a way that's causing it to do that, but I'm saying there's no reason that can't be fixed by
Sure.
someone who could figure out what's
Yeah,
broken with it.
it's not a big priority for me.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
like, and if you
But
maybe
if that's the
maybe what you
onboarding
need to
experience,
do is
if every single person has that first onboarding experience, every person needs to add funds to their wallet, and every person goes it and it breaks, and they don't know whether it works or not because they don't get any feedback.
no, you're absolutely right. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying maybe the workaround right now is to use a different faucet by default. Like, I know that the crowd node guys.
Yes, I don't know any others, so that's what I need to know. Like, what is the next most reliable faucet that I should use?
Yeah, that's. I'm going to go into Discord. I'm going into Discord, the Dash Discord channel.
And I know you need to put it in the tutorial if you want to keep it secret so people don't wreck the fun. But I'd be curious to know.
I was just telling people so that people could know also. The Dash Discord testnet channel, you click on the channel description and there.
Do you want to share your
There's
screen
just the
for
one.
a second?
It's fine right now. I just see the one top faucet. I was just checking to see if there were multiple faucets linked in here. So that's one of those. Let's make a note of this, and we'll ping.
This
I'll just do it right now. Let's see.
Here we go. Is this an actual faucet? It's weird.
I thought that you had the crowd node faucet somewhere in your docs already. Maybe not.
So the only one in the docs has been this one that I've been using the whole time. Let's try this one. How do I use it?
I'm just going to make a note here. Is there a better testnet faucet? Note channel description.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff that comes up if you Google it, but they're not really faucets. They're like trying to drive people to buy stuff and things. Like this, you have to sign up also, which is like,
yeah,
I know Ryan would not approve of that. So
no, I would not.
Yeah, definitely not.
All right. Well, for now, let's move on to the next step. Did you get the coins?
I'm assuming so. Yeah. So
let's check a block explorer.
Yep, let's do that.
And if you haven't got that in your notes,
I did. No. I've gone through these steps like 10 times. All these ones are good. Trust me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we got 3 confirmations. We got 0.2 dash in there.
Okay.
Oh, real quick. While I'm thinking this, what is a credit?
A credit is a smaller denomination of dash. So it is
like Satoshi.
Yeah, it's like Satoshi, but even smaller. I think it's 1,000, possibly 1,000,000. I think it's 1,000 though, credits per Satoshi.
And then what does it mean to top up something? Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
I said that also should be documented somewhere. If it's not, then it probably should be.
let me see where it comes up in. Let's see, cents dollars. I'll know what that means later. So I think it. So I was looking at the top up identity one, and let's see. User interacts with Dash platform applications. The credit balance associated with their identity will. It might define it earlier.
Right here is the link. It says additional details regarding credits.
There we go.
Yeah,
there we go. This is not a definition of what a credit is, though. This is telling us about something that was added on. This is not. I don't think this needs to be here. I guess unless someone's working with older code. But hold on. So back at the additional details around credits can be found in the credits description. Yes, I don't think this is a credits description. This is
credits provide the mechanism for paying fees that cover the cost of platform usage.
Wait, so hold on. So where does it say that? So it defines it in this doc, but it does it higher up. So that link should. Well, okay. No, I think I understand what's happening here. It's just a little confusing as to how it's linked. Lots of credits as established. See, I think. Sorry. Yeah, it's just a little bit. But it still doesn't really say anywhere that it's a smaller denomination. This is the first time it's mentioned on this page. It says each identity also has a balance of credits that is established by locking funds on layer 1. They're used to pay fees. And it gives you a link to this, which says they provide the mechanism for paying fees that cover the cost of platform usage. They lock Dash and prove ownership. So, but reading all this, I wouldn't know how it's different from just the actual cryptocurrency, like, the money itself. So I'm not sure if it does say anywhere specifically that it's a smaller denomination.
Yeah, I was just reading the description, and I agree with you. It's not enough to know.
It just needs a single sentence, like right here, because that's where the link goes. You want to put it right here before this note. Just say credits are a blank. Just give a single line description right here. That's what you want.
Let's make an issue.
I'll fix everything.
Let's make an issue. Actually, right now.
Let's make a PR. Screw that. This is so simple. There's no way I can not PR this.
Okay, I like it.
First. No, it's a single line markdown change. This is my specialty for PRs.
Yeah. And this is the purpose of this stream, right? The purpose of this stream is to go through the steps of the tutorial, make sure that all of our questions are answered. And if they're not answered, then we do our best to try to provide those answers ourselves. And, if Dash Core Group wants to spice up or spruce up whatever we suggest, that's even better. But let's give it our best shot.
Just make sure I'm on the most recent version. I think I am. Yep, cool. So I'm just gonna go straight to that link. It's gonna be right here. About 25 docs. Docs explanation.
So it took you to 25. Yeah, there you go. Now we're in 1.0 dev.
And we're at identity. And then the credits thing was right here, right? So then, but I want to be on AJC Web Devs. There we go. Okay. You should give me the exact specific wording though, because you're the guy.
I see. You're throwing it back on me now. I see.
Okay, so let me write I'll write back what you've told me, and you can tell me whether it's correct or not.
Well, the thing is, I'm not sure. So I heard somewhere sometime that it was 1,000 or 1,000,000, but I'm not sure if what I heard was, if I'm remembering it correctly, or even if they have changed it since then. Because I know this was like years ago that I
So why don't we try? Let's get off the Dash platform docs. Let's go to like the original Dash docs, right? There's a separate one. Is there a separate one for that? I know there used to be. Do you know?
There are multiple docs. There are user docs and developer docs. This is part of the issue.
We're gonna go to the core, or let's see. This is But yeah, no, this is definitely different. Okay, so let's go with this one. Let's see how they define credits here. So they call them identity credits instead of just credits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the life cycle of an identity is built with multiple different underlying state transitions. However, before an identity can be created, a special transaction that transforms Dash into credits must take place. Wow, that is so useful. That is what has not made sense to me.
Okay, but it's even that description is even not good enough yet. It may be down the paragraph here, but the
But it
important
connects
thing
it to what it has to do with the identity.
yeah. So let me just explain it conceptually as a high
Okay.
level description. What you do when you're creating credits is you're locking Dash on the layer 1 blockchain, the payments blockchain, proof of work blockchain. You're locking Dash in there and creating a transaction to do that lock, and then it's unlocking at the same time. It's unlocking Dash on the platform chain. So it's creating Dash on the platform proof of stake chain in the same amount that you have locked on the proof of work chain. Now, I don't know if they explain that. I guess let's just keep on reading and see if they
real
explain
quick though.
that.
Real quick though. So if that's the case, then I don't think it makes sense to say it's like just another way to subdivide Dash, because it sounds like there's a lot more involved with
It is more
why it
involved.
exists.
It is more involved, and the explanation, it takes several steps, obviously. So it depends. The first sentence that I give you is going to be context dependent. I think
I guess my question is what when, like, if someone is just using Dash cryptocurrency, do they encounter credits, or is it something that only people building the apps with it encounter? If you know.
So normally people don't encounter or use credits. In fact, on mainnet, nobody even has this is not even a thing. On testnet, it is a thing
because of identities.
And
so there's no name spacing on the current chain.
Say that again.
So basically the name service thing, what's it called? DPNS, I think, something like that. So that does not exist on Dash.
That's correct.
Layer 1.
On the proof of work payments chain, that does not exist.
Okay, that makes sense. So that is why.
So this is bridging.
This
is an important topic.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing now. Yes.
Yeah, this is the bridge that connects the proof of work chain to the proof of stake chain in a way that, and there's some fancy cryptography behind this that only Quantum Explorer, Sam Westrich, CTO of Dash Core Group, really fully understands, or several people there in Dash Core Group. I don't fully understand it, but there is cryptographic proof that it's not like you're not able to create extra coins on the proof of stake chain that you haven't in one and the same transaction, or at least several transactions that occur that haven't been locked on the proof of work chain. So the credits in the end, I don't know. This is one of those things, like, from a product, like if I were a product manager at Dash Core Group, this is one of the things that I would be wondering about, if this is even a good idea to have this separate term, credits. And it's something that you and I, as we bring Dash platform to Web 2 developers, we have a say in this as well. Like, is this term Dash credits and platform credits, is it going to be more helpful than harmful, or should we suggest that maybe we do away with something like this?
Well, so it sounds like so I think I'm starting to get this a little better. It says here, so basically the credits are something that you're going to be using to every time you need to interact with the thing. So it's you may or may not know this, but do you know how this relates to the concept of gas on Ethereum?
That's exactly what it is. It's
Then that's all you gotta say. Like, I mean, at least if you want to compare.
no, not necessarily, because
Well,
we're not
it depends where they're coming
targeting
from.
somebody that has a thorough understanding of Ethereum.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Let me correct myself.
gonna-
That's what you could say to me for it to make sense to me. I'm not saying write that in the docs. Is what I meant.
Yeah,
So I need to figure out. I could translate that to a definition that will be cleaner though, which is that as you interact with the chain, you need to provide a small amount of funds for the operation to succeed. Right.
yeah. Let's go back to where it's described, because this may be in there. We only read a couple sentences.
So we were.
So I agree that this should be.
So what did you? This is what I need to figure out the first time it's actually mentioned, because I'm not sure if it's like mentioned earlier in the tutorial up until this point. So if this is the first time it's mentioned, that's where you want to make sure you have
it may even be up in the introduction for all we know. You might have to.
There's only so many. Let's pop open all these. There's not that many. So
yeah. Just do
okay. So yeah, no. The top up is the first time it's showing up. So.
Okay.
And
right
this is where the first, and this function is where I encountered this concept for the first time, and I was confused. So I think this is the first time it's mentioned, and this is where it would be good. So it says the purpose of this tutorial is to walk through the steps necessary to add credits to an identity's balance, and then it kind of says it's this as you interact with it, the credit balance will decrease. So it doesn't kind of start with it; it kind of jumps into it already talking about the credits without having defined it. I think that's probably where it makes most sense then actually is to define it here instead of defining it. I mean, you want to define it probably in both places, but in terms of if you're just walking through this tutorial, just this would be a good place to kind of have a one sentence description, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you want to take a stab at what that one sentence description should be if this isn't sufficient?
Sure. So yeah, so I'm going to go back to here, and I don't want this page at all. I want this one. Just get out of here.
And we don't have to get the sentence exactly right to begin with. Mm-hmm. But I think starting a PR is a good idea. That way we can have the PR. They can know that there's a little bit of an issue with conceptually explaining what credits are before, because it is an important topic. And then we can just add on as we go through the tutorial more. We can add on to that.
Yeah, there was I want to go back to where they explained it earlier in the actual dash core one. Give me just one quick second. So it was so here we go. Here we go. So when an identity is created, a special transaction transforms dash into credits, which are used to interact with the dash platform. Okay, I think to me that would be something that would make sense to me. That would explain what they are. And like
I think that we should also add a sentence that says something about the unit conversion if and when we find that.
Yeah, so that's the thing is I don't know where that information is. So
yeah,
if you
do a placeholder sentence that says something like 1 credit equals or no.
Well, yeah,
one dash one, the number 1 though. the number one,
Yes.
one dash, and then the symbol equals 100 million. Let's put commas.
No commas.
Let's put commas in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 100 million Satoshis.
Comma or no comma for that. Let me see how they do it for.
It's not a comma.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Equals like 100 billion. Or you could just do question mark credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'll just commit this on my thing. I won't necessarily open the fork yet. Or do you?
Yeah.
Want,
yeah. Commit it on your fork, and then we can update later. You'll want to be consistent whether you're uppercasing or lowercasing credits.
Yeah.
And then, like Satoshi's also is one of those things. I always uppercase dash because in terms of units, I like to keep dash analogous to like USD
or BTC.
Or BTC. Right. They're always uppercased and whatnot. I don't know what the convention is or should be for Satoshis and credits, but I think it's good enough for now.
Mm-hmm. Great. Cool. That was a long rabbit hole for my question. That's good. I think that's great.
That's the purpose here.
Yeah. No, I dig it. I super dig it. Did you want to keep going along from where we were in the tutorial? We just created a wallet.
I was thinking back to a better way to describe that unit conversion thing, because it'd also be better to write explicitly that that one Satoshi equals question mark like 1,000 credits. Because I wouldn't, if I were the reader of this, I wouldn't want to have to decipher between the 100 million Satoshis equals 100 billion or whatever number that is.
Yeah.
I would want
I think
in terms of
I think necessarily. Yeah, I think you don't need to necessarily do the Satoshi conversion at all. You just say this is a smaller denomination, like how Satoshis are as well, or something like that. And you can just link to Satoshis. People can read about more if they want.
Yep,
I think that would be the move. What is a Satoshi? Hold on, I'm gonna save that.
You know what that is, right?
You know. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's what's interesting though, is that it's both. It's like a Satoshi. It's also like gas from Ethereum. That, like, again, I'm the type of person that compares these things is helpful. So that's why I tend to frame them these ways. I know some people you don't want to talk about other projects, how they relate at all, but at least that to me is interesting. It's cool because it helps you kind of start to understand where the commonalities are of different projects. So that to me definitely just makes a lot of sense, because when I actually make when I use cryptocurrency, the times I use it, gas is always a thing, because you can pay more gas to get your transaction faster or pay less gas, so it'll take longer. So I guess does that exist, or is you just pay the credits and it just happens at whatever time it takes?
In this system, in the Dash platform system, I believe it is deterministic.
That's way better. Way better.
Yeah, a certain. So in that way, it's not like gas, probably. But
that's the worst part about gas. Like, you fix the problem with gas then.
Yeah, a certain transaction will cost a certain amount every time. And I don't think that there's a mechanism to speed that up. It's just it's fast by default. And if there's a problem with that, like, there is going to be a mechanism where we can change those rates, which, like allocating this amount of memory costs X amount of credits. Doing a certain amount of processing costs another. And then, so like Ethereum has this as well, where certain operations, low-level operations, there is a table of costs, and then certain transactions will map to those certain low-level operations. Like registering identity is one thing, registering a name is another thing. And then topping up your balance is just saying, hey, let's convert some layer 1 dash into credits at that given rate, so that when I do these transactions, I'm pulling from my credit balance.
Okay, so yeah, so this is the thing that when I was running this, I need to make sure that this part is clearly explained. You're giving it 1,000 also number. Oh, so Duffs. Are Duffs the smaller denomination?
Yeah,
What Duff feels 1,000 credits. Okay, so that is the term Duff. I remember Duff came up a while. When I was doing this, the first time this came up over the summer, I was like, I need to figure out what a Duff and a credit and all this stuff is.
Okay, so it is here in the documentation. Maybe it's a little bit lower than you wanted it personally. That's subjective.
Well, but this doesn't explain what a credit is. It just says a Duff is equal to 1,000 credits. That's still, then that begs the question of what is a credit. And just because you know how to convert Duffs to credits, that still doesn't really answer the question.
One Duff is the same as one Satoshi. So that this is an issue of not controversy, but just difference of opinion in the Dash community, what we should call our base unit. I'm in the camp that I think it should still be called one Satoshi just for the reason that everybody already understands Satoshis.
I agree.
Giving it a new name. Duff is short for Duffield, which is the last name of Evan Duffield, the creator of Dash. Yep.
Hey, that's cool. So it's a nice little tribute, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, so it's the same in terms of like Satoshi, was the creator of Satoshi.
You have to be a real nerd to figure that one out, though.
Yeah, and Ethereum has their own base unit as well. So we were following that tradition, and some people still are. I just personally think that Satoshi is a better term. It's less confusing, and I also believe that the Dash project is closer to what Satoshi would have wanted anyway. So I'm claiming the Satoshi, I'm claiming Satoshi.
You're taking it back.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess for me, the what has been confusing is that there's two concepts going on here. There's the denomination, which is like this converts into this, and then there's the credits are a thing that you need to interact with the platform itself, and those I think like you want to make that as explicit as possible so people know just because it's just a unit conversion is very simple. Everyone understands that. There's no real need to define that as a concept, just cents to dollars. Whereas if you need to pay a specific extra thing to interact with the chain, and then it's somehow different from just a regular old Dash as a cryptocurrency, that's where the questions start to come in.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna have this draft PR, and before we submit it as a pull request to DCG, I want us to let it simmer in your head.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would not open a PR like this. This is notes to myself.
Yeah. But that answered our question right there in the documentation. It does say one Duff equals 1,000 credits, so one Satoshi equals 1,000 credits, and therefore, so you could take the double check off there.
So this is correct. That conversion.
We have double check that now. Yeah, that is correct.
But this would be
and then
this would be Duff though, not credits.
No. Sorry. You could do another equals and say one Dash equals 100 million Satoshis equals 100 million Duffs equals 100 billion credits. You could do that.
I would do that.
Yes, that's even better. So
there we go.
Yeah, you can take the one Duff equals 1,000 credits off as well now. So now you understand it. I've confirmed the 1,000 conversion ratio. So we're good to go as far as conceptually. And let's move on to the next step in the tutorial.
So the next step in the tutorial, let me get my tutorial back up here, was we were after creating the wallet, and then we added funds to the wallet, and then we registered the name. I think it's going to be the next one. Yep. So let me open that up. Register name. That's going to be this right here.
And you know what I'm thinking? I think that even though the new documentation isn't published yet, I think that we should actually start converting your tutorial to follow that one more closely with the way that I know that they're moving toward, which is
get the link to that.
Yeah, so let me try to find it, but you could try to find it as well. If you know where the documentation is on GitHub, which you just went there, try to go to the 1.0 branch of that.
Is it a okay? Here we go.
Yeah, and then let's go to the docs. And it may not be in the 1.0 dev branch yet, but it's in some branch. So let's find it.
What are we looking for exactly?
What we're looking for is let's see, 2 weeks ago. I don't think that would be it. Let's look at the branch names again. Let's look at the branch names in the drop down and see if there's, view all branches.
It's like,
that's the best way to find this. Can you do a search? Let's see. This is what repo is this again? Scroll up.
dash pay docs platform.
Docs platform. And is that where this documentation lives? You're sure of that part?
I mean, it's where you go and you click the edit button on the docs. So that's what I'm assuming, but I don't know if it's actually being deployed from here or not. Could be because there's no real way to see that.
This change that I'm talking about happened in the past week. So, I don't know. Let's go back to where you were before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if we look at the commits, the most recent commit was just this thing.
Yeah, so, no, not the most recent.
So where did you? Who was talking about it? Like, where did you hear about this? Like, have you seen it? Like, what is the context of why you know about this? I guess.
The Fez. I'm pretty sure that the Fez is the one that.
So ask them. Just say, hey.
Let me just give me a second to read through these. Increase number of credits. SDK doc updates. That might be it.
So are there specific changes you are worried about or that you think are different? Because it doesn't sound like there's any big code changes in any of these.
The only thing the major thing that was changed is the client instantiation got its own separate page in the docs.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then subsequently it imports it, because remember when we were talking last time, there was that issue of the block at which to start syncing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's do this. Let's just go up to the most recent one. Just go look at it. So if this is the most recent change, then let's go to tutorial and just walk through it. So it's going to start with That's not what we want. So connect to a network. That's what we want. Yeah, so this is still the same as it's always been. Like nothing's different here.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that I don't think they've deployed it yet. The latest version.
But it's not even on. But this is the GitHub, so it's not a question of deployment. It's not in the repo at all. Whatever you're referring to.
Well, it's not in this branch then.
So there's only so many branches. So we just go look at the other ones. There's like 5 branches. So let's just see, I guess.
Maybe it's on develop. It won't be in that one. That's 24.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think you should just ask whoever you think was the one to make the change, because I don't think we're gonna find it this way.
Yeah. Click down in the develop the branches list again.
Mm-hmm.
And all.
See, none of these have been updated in the last week, so it's none of these branches. We know that for sure.
Yeah. Maybe it was just on his own machine. I don't know.
Anyway,
you do something for a while. I'll find it.
Either, yeah. So if we want to change things, like we need to know what we're changing. So if we need the docs, we know where the docs are, and it does make sense for us to just go continue to search around random repos to try and find. You just ask the person directly.
No, that doesn't make sense either. He's not going to be online, even if he is. I'm going to search.
Well, I'm not saying we need. Okay, well then we should stop the stream now. Then we can't go on until we need this answered.
No. You just.
I'm just saying, I still think it's a good use of time. That's all I'm saying. There's other things we can do. The tutorial's not even finished. There's other.
You go ahead. You go ahead with the tutorial. Just as I want you to keep going on the tutorial. Make sure that the other steps are still working. I'll search for the issue. I'll find it if I can just concentrate for a minute here.
Okay, go for it. I gotta push my changes actually of what I've done so far, so I'll do that.
Okay, I just sent you a link to your a message in Discord.
Okay.
So pop that open. That's the issue.
Okay, so this is the Dash Pay platform tutorials. So this is code for the tutorials found on. So they've updated the code, but does that mean the docs also have the updates as well? Oh, yes, it's right here. PR will also be required, and the docs have to implement the docs of this change. So the thing that would be in the docs, it sounds like, has not happened yet, but the change in the code
So
has.
this is DashPay/platform tutorials, and then there's this separate DashPay/docs platform. That's what's
No,
confusing us right there.
yeah, no, it makes sense to me because you've got the docs itself, and you've got just a repo that is the code. It's the same thing with me. That's why I have a separate tutorial markdown file, and then the actual Dash examples
Yeah.
repo. So I've consolidated them by just making the docs a single markdown within this project. And that wouldn't make any sense for you to do that, but that does make sense to me in terms of like you want the example that you're building in the tutorial to be a separate repo from the thing that is the docs themselves.
Okay. Well, either way, let's take these changes and let's put those changes into your tutorial.
But my tutorial is already doing it. Already makes
It's already doing that. Yeah,
It was
that's what I
was
thought.
created that way from the beginning. So
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so I just wanted to double check that it's all the same. And I guess it is. Yeah. So with that brief tangent out of the way, what step are we on now?
What step were we on? We were trying to. Sorry, I was kind of on a different step from where we were actually, but I'm on two threads right now at the same time. So let's go back to where we actually were, which was just we created the wallet and then we loaded some funds into it. And we were about to create an identity. It was going to be the next thing. Okay. I can probably go for maybe another like 15, 20 minutes, and then I'll probably have to call it.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we ran into an error here.
This one takes a while. It did work, yeah. This one takes the longest of any of the commands getting the identity ID back. Yeah, so then you save that in your .env, and then you retrieve the identity. So that'll be this one. And all these were working as far as I ran through all this before you were on. So all this stuff still works. So this gives you the identity object back.
Okay.
And then you can retrieve the IDs, which I probably have a million of them now. Interesting. Actually, no, because we created a fresh wallet. So yes, that makes sense why there would only be one. And then you got the top up. Let's see. I think this one actually I have it in my here that it was broken. So this one still is something's going funky. So state transition broadcast error asset lock transaction output 0 only has 1,000 credits left out of 1,000 initial credits on the asset lock, but needs 50,000 credits to start processing. Lock credits.
Well, let me just read that again. Is
It's a joke.
That just saying we don't have enough money?
Well, it says I need 50. So I did the test net. I got my test net thing. And then I started with whatever that gave me. And then now it's saying I need 50,000 credits.
Yeah.
How do I get more? So do I need to use a faucet again? Or do I need to do something to I'm not really sure what's happening right now.
You tell me, is it clear enough what's wrong?
Well, the problem is it's not clear when you first do. So let's go back to where you first do the faucet, because it's not clear exactly how much you get at that point. So
yeah, I think the faucet gives you a random amount, but I think it gives you like at least one dash. As far as like check your block explorer, see how much dash you have.
So it started me with 0.2 dash.
Oh, okay.
Is that how many credits is that? That turns like still hundreds of millions of credits, doesn't it?
Yeah, it should be. Yep. Because one dash
Yeah.
is 100 million satoshis, and that's 100 billion credits. So we should have plenty.
So I think it sounds like what's happening is that it's saying here, I have 1,000 credits left out of 1,000 initial credits on the asset lock. So that's the step where we already talked about. There's the asset lock transition thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that is just something that's happening. We're not controlling that through how we're interacting with it. That happened under the hood.
Yeah.
So it's a little confusing how. I mean, I'm confused about how to fix it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but is this an issue that there needs to be something fixed in terms of generating the
I
right
think
amount of credits?
this is an issue. I think the one thing that we could maybe do at this point, and then we could end after this, is let's check to see what we need a Dash testnet platform explorer to see how many credits our account has. And yeah, let's start with Google. I'm curious to see if Shenmix testnet explorer will show up here.
Are there any of these?
No.
Can you send me the link then if you have?
Okay.
If you already know it.
I'll send you the link. But this is another one of those things that, arguably should be in the documentation. So maybe worth another PR on this.
I mean, the way I would structure it, I would send people, if there's a different block explorer, I would send people straight to that. If it's also going to give you your basic dash amount too, instead of trying to tell people there's two different explorers, one's for dash platform, one's for the other. You just want a single explorer that give you all of these, if it's possible. That would give you all
I don't think that we don't have that yet. We have.
So the things you would see on the dash platform explorer would be different things than you would see from the regular explorer.
Well, think about what we talked about last time. There are two blockchains in Dash right now. There's the proof of work blockchain and the proof of stake blockchain. What we looked at right there was the proof of work testnet explorer. That's not going to have anything about how many.
Right, I'm talking about the other way around. Once we're on Dash platform, if you also can get this information, and you could create the front end in a way where you could get that information. I would need to see the Dash platform explorer first to know what's there and what's not.
Yeah. Let's look at it together on the screen real quick.
Oh, I have ended up here before, actually. So, but I think the stuff doesn't necessarily show up. So if I just put in my wallet address, that
latest transactions April 6th, so that should be fine. We did that last one that I see is an identity create. That could have been ours.
Well, this is actually. I suppose
304. That was probably us. Yeah, because it's 3:11 my time right now.
Oh yeah, that's that. Okay, so let me grab this. Actually, this is really important. So the first time this is very helpful actually. So this is after you do create the identity. So it's gonna be up here, create identity. Boom, boom, boom. Great. So all of that. And then if you go to the identity, so this is my question then, what can you see about it? Does it have any connection to the address, the wallet address that's associated with this identity?
Well, right now, what I see balance 0 credits, so that can't be good.
Well, that's different from what our CLI said, which said I still have. Oh no, output. Yeah, it says I have 1,000 credits left out, 1,000 initial credits. So there's some mismatch there.
Yeah, so let's try to do another transaction, see if it shows up in real time on the Platform Explorer. Let's try to do an identity top up to
That's
get
what's breaking.
more funds.
That's
what we just tried to run. Oh,
that's what we just tried to do. Yeah, that's what was broken. Yeah.
Top up identity. Okay, yeah, this might be something that I have to. We're pretty much learning this stuff together right now at this point.
Yeah, no, this is great.
I don't. Let's see briefly what it says about top up identity. I would have expected that would be adding credits to your account.
So we should try and see if there's references anywhere to the 1,000 initial credits. But actually, does this transaction? Can I get that? Okay, so that's this, I guess, or no? Okay. So let me go to the top up. I think. So as users interact with the application, the credit balance associated will decrease, and eventually it'll be necessary to top up the balance by converting some Dash to credits. Additional details where, yes, we saw all that. So the top of amount we're doing is, so maybe I need to just do more than 1,000. Maybe it's just the issue. Let's try that. So
let's do 1 million. Like, let's get crazy. I mean, I'm just, but like, yeah, we definitely need more than 1,000. So that's another tutorial. Where did you get that 1,000 from? That's a tutorial fail.
Right here. This is this is where it is from right here. Is this part?
That's a tutorial fail. That default needs to be higher. Because if you can't do all the things with 1,000 credits, then not good.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Cool. We fixed it. Okay, so let me make a note of that as well in my repo that I was adding notes to. Works just with.
Let's do a PR for that, and let's call it good after that PR, because we should definitely bump that up in the official documentation to like something like 1 million credits. Just give them plenty of room to work with.
No. Let me do this.
Even 1 billion credits, like, just give them enough.
1 billion. So
I don't like. Honestly, I don't like the credits thing. I'm gonna have to talk to DCG about this. Like, why is this necessary? I know that there are on the sub low level operational level, there are things that cost less than 1 Satoshi, I'm sure, but I don't think that it should be a user facing unit. That now we have 3 units to keep track of as developers. We have Dash, we have Satoshis, we have credits, and I just don't think that it's worth. I don't know. I'm sure there's probably a reason for it. I just don't know if the pros outweigh the cons.
Yeah. So I'm just doing something silly right now so I can make this simpler for myself. So I can just make the PR directly. God. Okay. I'm gonna open this PR by myself because my whole set is, I'm on a new computer. It's just
I get it. So. All right, cool. Well, we made some progress. We found some mistakes, some things that can be improved with the tutorial, and the nice thing is we didn't really run into any actual bugs like on the testnet network. Everything's working
flawlessly
well
for the first time. Yeah.
Other than we didn't have enough credits for that one transaction, and we figured out why. So success.
Sweet. Cool. So I'm gonna do that PR, and then did you want to hop on another time to keep going through the tutorial where we were?
Yeah. Let's do another stream next week.
Sweet. Sounds good. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. And
Yep.
yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Yep.